asking them to do what I need to have done, because again, I'm trying to teach them critical thinking. And I love it when we have the tech that's in nursing school, because that's the person that, and I love them to work on the unit I'm on, because that then helps me to transition them quicker into a staff nurse position once they graduate.
Then you might get to see a Lopez valve with mold in it.
Heart failure and dysrhythmias is another week before simulation. Then there's metabolic, which includes the thyroid problems. What other problems? What do we see in our kind of patients?
We do pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenals. We basically
adrenal,
hit everything.
parathyroid, and thyroid are going to be the three big critical care
Pituitaries,
ED type experiences. So you'll want to reinforce that concept, and that's a heavy. All those little hormones are heavy heavy theory topic.
And in practice, unfortunately, when you do your unit rounds, we have been extremely fortunate, not for the patient, but to have had some diabetes insipidus and SIADH patients and things like that. So it's pretty cool what one little thing going wrong in the body can do.
With those fluid and electrolytes, right?
That's right.
Okay, then inflammatory and valvular. Inflammatory is your endocarditis, pericarditis, and myocarditis. I don't see much myocarditis here at the old Bowling Green Center. Saw a bunch of it at CVICU at Vanderbilt because they all got admitted there. But so we don't see a lot of myocarditis, or endocarditis, or even pericarditis, except that you see them with your open hearts possibly. But
And unfortunately, we have a patient that has a tendency to come in quite regularly with the nice cauliflower
is that one
valves.
of the homeless people that lives in that trailer out by under the bridge?
Kind of. But
van
he's
for the
in the unit quite a bit, so you may get to see infective endocarditis.
And then shock, as it implies, there's 4 shock types, and you need to, we cannot make patients go into shock on our clinical days, but the point is...
But every patient has a potential.
Every single patient has a potential of having 3 out of the 4 especially. So that's going to be pretty common. And then the last day is a little bit tweaked between instructor and instructor, but there will be a summary phase at that point. You'll have to finish your evaluations. And I didn't mention this, but 3:15 and 3:14 for the Monday group would be where you have to do your evaluations for midterm. And you have a self-evaluation form that needs to be completed and brought to clinical that day, not completed at clinical that day. And I think this time I'm just going to collect them at our little opening session in the cafeteria. So I can just kind of read them up front before we get into, then I'll come and see each of you during the day. When I do my rounds, I just make sure, and I think that's how everybody else typically does their midterm eval. But under that, we need to have that form, and I don't want you to fill out the form that has midterm and final, because I've typed that and I want that myself, so you don't have to copy that one, but you need to copy your midterm that says self-evaluation. That's in a list of all the different things that are there. So you do need to copy that. Okay, any questions about the schedule and what the expectations so far are within the schedule? Miss Doolin.
I just want to make one thing clear.
Perfectly clear.
I am not lecturing. And so please do not, if you're in my clinical group, do not come to me and ask me to go over your test within the lecturing material. That happened so many times last semester, and I got in trouble a lot of times for it. And so if you are needing to go over your exam, go to your lecture teachers, okay?
I do my clinical group, and I know I only lecture in one lecture in 209. However, I have listened to every lecture 3 times, more than you probably will, and
More than I will.
have lived the content for 28 years, so I do go over it with my students instead of worrying about that. But I agree, management here does not want people who are not
We have
doing
some
the lectures.
territorial issues.
Yes. So that would mean that don't expect Ms. Metter or Ms. Doolin to review your test with you. That would be, you need to, mostly you're gonna make an appointment with Shinhelm, Moore, Shinhelm, Moore, and quit it,
I didn't say anything.
Stewart. But I will probably manipulate Michael.
Yeah,
But otherwise, that's what you have to do.
yeah, because it's not fair. I'm not in here, and I might give you the wrong information.
Exactly.
that
Or the
they-
correct.
They went over. So,
Why don't we take a 10-minute, so you can all go to the bathroom.